I have been silent for years and made every effort to keep these matters private. Unfortunately, my parents and their team have continued to go to the press, leaving me with no choice to speak for myself and tell the truth. I do not want to reconcile with my family. I am not being controlled. I am standing up for myself for the first time in my life. Guys, we've got some breaking news on a little bit extra. This is your escape from the shit show that is Planet Earth, where we delve into all of your guilty pleasures to do with pop culture. My name is Sharon, and I am flabbergasted this morning. I had finished this episode. We were ready to upload it. And then I opened my Instagram, and what do we see? A 6-page statement from Brooklyn Beckham about why he is estranged from Victoria and David Beckham and his brothers. He does kind of make it very clear that it doesn't involve his sister, he just mentions his brothers and his parents. But there has been this weird feud going on for ages. Every time Brooklyn Beckham posts something, under in the comment section, it's always like, talk to your parents. Why are you still using your parents' last name? Blah, 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 blah. And Brooklyn Beckham today has gone on his Instagram stories and he has released 6 pages of tea. I'm going to try and summarize this for you because it is crazy. So Brooklyn Beckham starts things off by saying, I have been silent for years and made every effort to keep these matters private. Unfortunately, my parents and their team have continued to go to the press, leaving me with no choice to speak for myself and tell the truth. He has said, and this broke my heart. Like, as somebody that has 2 kids, this just absolutely breaks my heart. He says, I do not want to reconcile with my family. I am not being controlled. I am standing up for myself for the first time in my life. That makes me so sad because the Beckhams just seem like such a fun, loving, tight family. But in this statement, Brooklyn Beckham makes the point numerous times that anytime there is a family event, there are photographers there and there is pressure to take these happy, oh, we're so in love, family photos. And he has said that for his entire life, his parents have controlled the narratives about the Beckham family. He called their social media posts and their family events inauthentic and performative. He said that he's seen it with his own eyes, how far that this can go. He even said that they tried to ruin his wedding to his wife, Nicola. He said that this makes me so mad because Victoria's my favourite Spice Girl. So honestly, this is torturing me to read bad things about her. He said that my mum cancelled making Nicola's dress in the 11th hour, despite how excited she was to wear one of my mum's designs. So then Nicola had to go out and find a brand new wedding dress before their wedding. She then talked about he talked about how Victoria ruined their first dance, and instead of getting to dance with Nicola, he had to dance with Victoria, and it was the first time that he was embarrassed by her because he thought that her dancing was inappropriate. He also, Brooklyn, my God, you really went to town here. He said that his mum called him evil because Nicola and Brooklyn had chosen to include people at their table that didn't have partners instead of themselves. The night before the wedding, they told him that Nicola will never be blood to them, that she's not family, that she wasn't good enough to him. And there's just so much in here. It's crazy. They still travelled to London for David Beckham's big birthday, but because they didn't want to pose for all these public photos and make it a public thing, then they didn't go to the party. And so they waited trying to see David Beckham, but then he was finally allowed to go and see David Beckham, but he wasn't allowed to take Nicola with him. And so even when the Beckhams all travelled to LA, they didn't go and see them, didn't want to see Nicola. And it's so wild, and he's really stood his ground on this one. And so far it's right now 10:43 on Tuesday the 20th of January, and there has been no response from David or Victoria Beckham or any of his brothers. His sister doesn't have social media, so also she's a young child. But I just personally find this so sad. Any time that you see a family having this sort of breakup and then it being so public and sounds so incredibly toxic is just so heartbreaking to me. And also, the fact that it is so similar to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's situation when they left the royal family, like the whole feeding the press and all that sort of stuff. It feels like it's a really big UK thing, and it just makes me incredibly, incredibly sad. So we will keep following this story, and if you want the latest on it, make sure you're following us on social media. Just look up a little bit extra .podcast, and I will keep you up to date as soon as anything drops about it. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll already know this about me, that I get a little confident after I've had a few drinks, and I like to drunk DM celebrities to try and get them to go on my podcast. And I had totally forgot about this. And I woke up on Sunday morning and I had a reply from Spencer Pratt from The Hills about coming on the podcast. I was like, when did I send this? So I'll read you the message, because it is embarrassing. Because what I was thinking about is that he's got this new book coming out, and in the book there is so much tea in it. He's also wanting to run to be the mayor of LA, and so I was like, oh, what a great chance to have a chat to Spencer Pratt. So I slide into his DMs and I said, on Saturday night at 10 p.m, Spencer, look, you're probably not going to see this, but what are the chances of getting you and Heidi on my pop culture podcast in New Zealand? And to make it even more professional, I put 7 question marks on the end of it. So I then get a reply, and I'm going to say Spencer Pratt's reply game is fabulous. He replied 4 hours later saying, definitely one day, but not in the next couple of months. Everything is going through my campaign, which I think must be either the campaign for the book release or his mayoral campaign that's coming up. But how amazing is it that Spencer Pratt actually replied to my DM? This is major, because if you have seen on my Instagram over the last couple of months, I have DM'd Robbie Williams and Mel C from the Spice Girls and so many others. Like, honestly, if you name it, I have probably DM'd them. I even DM'd Taylor Swift, and I was like, hey Taylor, we've met a couple of times. Want to come on a random podcast? I mean, she was doing lots of podcasts at the time. And then I emailed her publicist, Tree Payne. What was I thinking? Like, where has this confidence come from that I didn't realize that I had? The fact that I am DMing the publicist of the most successful and biggest star on the planet right now, and in my after a few drinks confidence is like, you know what, I'm gonna message her and I'm gonna see if she wants to come on the podcast. But update, Taylor Swift not coming on the podcast at this point, but you know what? I will keep DM sliding. She did say in her docuseries that she doesn't actually read her Instagram DMs, but you know, like, a girl can hope, a girl can dream. We can give it a crack. But speaking of Spencer Pratt, we are going to be talking today about how he's got a book coming out, and I'm going to delve into some of the funniest bits in it. There's stories about Ryan Gosling, Mary-Kate Olsen, Nicole Richie, a whole lot, including a celebrity that literally ran away from him when they ran into each other once they were both famous, because this person didn't want to be spotted with a reality star. So stick around for that, because first, as we always do in the pop culture wrap, we got to talk about who our person of the week is. And this week, I could have chosen a few different people. There's some people that are doing a lot of stuff right now, but I am obsessed with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It is just unbelievable trash, and I love it. It's just, the whole thing is just hilarious to me. And I know this may be a controversial favorite, but my favorite person on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is your girl, baby gorgeous Lisa Barlow. Now, if you don't watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Lisa Barlow is, I don't even know how to describe her. I wouldn't say she's a narcissist, but I would say that she probably has a little bit of a false reality. She's very into like material things, and she loves a name drop. And on the latest series of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, there is a scene where she's supposed to be on a cast trip, and she doesn't go on the trip because she's got to work. And in the clip, she's like telling Angie, one of the other housewives, oh, you know, I can't come. I've got to go work, and I'm going to be hanging out with Ben and Blake. As in Ben Affleck and Blake Lively. You know, I've just got a really full life, Angie. That is my best Lisa Barlow impression, by the way. And what is hilarious about this to me is that I don't know why housewives that live in Utah, Salt Lake City, are obsessed with Ben Affleck. Because on the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which is also filmed in Salt Lake City, there is a character there, there is a person on there, Jen Affleck, and in the first series, she just kept talking about how she was related to Ben Affleck through her husband, blah, blah, blah. They ended up doing a Dunkin' Donuts commercial together because it was so comical, and Ben had no idea who Jen was. Then, in this series of Salt Lake City, Ben Affleck is now having to respond to whether or not he knows Lisa Barlow. And because she then talks about it at the reunion, she's like, oh yeah, I know Ben. We've worked together on a bunch of stuff, blah, blah, blah. And Ben Affleck is on the promo trail at the moment with Matt Damon. And the reporter straight up asks Ben, do you know Lisa Barlow from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? And you can see in his face, he's like, why are all these women in Salt Lake City saying that they know me? Why am I the person that every reality show housewife wants to name drop? And his response with Matt Damon is so funny.
I don't know if you know your name has come up in the zeitgeist of reality TV yet again on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Okay, it's Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Cast member Lisa Barlow is saying that she was with you at an event with her husband and she wasn't able to film. Her cast members don't believe her.
Also, I have a work thing. It's a big deal.
Really?
I think what people forget is I have a very full life because I keep it kind of private. Okay. And I'm not going to drop names, but I'll be with Ben and Blake.
So the question is, do you know who Lisa Barlow is?
I don't want to get anybody in trouble, or I don't know what this is, but I don't. An event in Salt Lake City. And
no, you wouldn't get her in trouble.
But prove to me right or wrong. She's saying
you're not sure.
Event like it.
Now, the best part about it, apart from the fact that Matt Damon's trying to save him, because they're also trying to just not end up getting talked about on the show and becoming this big story. But Lisa Barlow then doubles down, and this is why she's my person of the week, because Lisa Barlow doesn't mind being cringe. She doesn't mind being a name dropper, and she will stand 10 toes down on her stories, even if somebody says that they aren't true. And so Ben Affleck, after he has just said, look, maybe I met her, but I have no memory of it, Lisa Barlow comments on the interview clip, and she says, South by Southwest for the accountant too. And that's it. She's just like, this is when it was, Ben. You may not remember me, but it actually happened. And Lisa Barlow, you are my person of the week because your confidence will never, ever cease to amaze me. Well done, Queen. Well done. Also, while we're on Salt Lake City, if you don't follow Monica that used to be on the show, you need to follow her on Instagram because she is dropping some serious, serious tea about all those housewives at the moment. I feel like we actually need to do a Salt Lake City kind of breakdown episode. I'm going to work on that, okay? I'm going to research. And for all of you that don't know about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, you soon will. And you will be hooked. And you will be binging all of the seasons and learning about the Jen Shah of it all and everything. Oh, I love that show so much. Let's get into our pop culture wrap for the week. The biggest stories that you should know about, because this is going to save you doom scrolling through all of the crap on your timeline. And you may remember a few years ago, there was a TV series made about Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee about their sex tape, pretty much, and how the whole thing happened. And it was produced by Seth Rogen. And Seth Rogen also played the character who in real life stole the sex tape from Tommy Lee's safe. So Pamela Anderson was very vocal about this show feeling like a violation to her, that it was bringing up all these bad parts in her life. Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson had absolutely nothing to do with the TV show. And they were in fact very vocal about the fact they didn't even want it to be made. But against their consent, the show was still made. It is ironic to me that that whole TV series was about a woman whose consent was not respected. But in reality, they weren't respecting the consent of the woman who it was about, saying that she didn't want you to make it. But the most awkward thing happened at the Golden Globes last week, because for the first time since the TV show came out, Pamela Anderson and Seth Rogen were in the same room together. And Pamela Anderson actually told Andy Cohen on his radio show all about it and how she ended up leaving because it was just giving her too much anxiety.
At the Golden Globes, for instance, I didn't leave early. I left after my award and I went right to bed.
Really?
Seth Rogen. Like, he did that movie on me without talking to me. You know, Pam and Tommy.
Right,
and that was another, I just felt like, you know, like, no, how can someone make a TV series out of difficult times in your life? And I'm a living, breathing human being over here. Hello.
Did you run into him at all?
Well, he was, you know, in the pit at the Golden Globes, so we were close.
Yes.
But I was just like, I just don't. I may have just felt like I'm not chopped liver over here.
Right.
I felt a little bit weird about it. And
I'm
I felt like,
sure
you know,
you did.
I've been so busy.
Yes.
You know, and working. I've done 5 movies in the last year, so
Right.
I've just been busy. But sometimes it hits you and you feel kind of down. And then with the, I don't know, it just felt like a little yucky. But I mean, it's eventually, hopefully, maybe he'll reach out to me and apologize.
Did you?
Not that matters.
It must be so frustrating when you listen to that. Like, I don't even like seeing somebody that I know doesn't like me or someone that's been mean to me and I have to see them in a group setting because people will know what's going on. And thank God for Leonardo DiCaprio because at least he kind of distracted everybody from everything. But it must be all that anxiety. But also I want to know, what is Seth Rogen thinking in this moment? Is he also feeling uncomfortable and is like, oh, I should go apologize? But I reckon he should apologize. He absolutely should apologize for the fact that he profited on the worst moment in Pamela Anderson's life, and also the fact that this was so long ago and it still gets brought up. Pamela Anderson has done so many things in her life, and this is still one of the things that defines her. It's just, it must be so frustrating. And also, she's got kids now. So she's got adult children that now still have to hear about their parents' sex tape. Like, it wasn't something they put out there. It was something that was stolen. If that happened now, it would be revenge porn. So the fact that people are still making money off it and trying to, like, profit off somebody else's pain, I just find that so screwed up. So Pamela Anderson, we are Team Pam. I don't know why I did a T and not a P, but like with my hands, but whatever. Spencer Pratt. He's got a new book coming out. I love Spencer Pratt because he is the perfect reality show stirrer. Like, he knows what you want to see on reality TV. Remember the whole thing between him and Lauren and like saying that she had a sex tape with, so many sex tapes on this episode, with her ex-boyfriend Jason Whaler on the hills. And then he like called her beef curtains. I had never ever heard that before until he said that. Was like, beef curtains. Of all the things that you could like call someone's vagina, like that is just the most weird, offensive thing that you could say about someone's vagina. Like, let's just not talk about people's vaginas. Anyway, he then goes, like, throughout the episode that he comes back and he's all nice, Spencer, and he goes crystals, and he's just spectacular. And then he's now going through all the episodes being like, this is fake, this is what happened here, this is what actually happened, this is what I got told to say, etc. But the thing about Spencer Pratt that a lot of people don't realize is he grew up with Hollywood's elite. Like, he was on movie sets and in studios and all of that with people that he was friends with, very, very famous parents. He also went to school with loads of super famous people. So Ryan Gosling, Mary-Kate Olsen, Nicole Richie, the list goes on. So many. The Kardashians, best friends with Brody Jenner, was pitched a reality show from Kris Jenner and he turned it down, which is now his greatest regret. But in his book, he tells some pretty funny stories. And my favorite story from there is a story about Ryan Gosling. So Ryan Gosling and Spencer Pratt used to be friends and they used to hang out in the same group of boys. Brody Jenner was in that group as well. They used to party all the time together. And when Ryan Gosling got famous, and Spencer was obviously famous for being, you know, a reality TV show villain on the hills, it was no longer cool for Ryan to be associated with Spencer Pratt. And Spencer writes in his book about how he saw Ryan Gosling at the Standard Hotel in LA, and Ryan Gosling literally ran away from him. He said that he saw him clock him and was like, oh God. And then he ran so that Spencer didn't have a chance to talk to him, especially in public where they could be photographed. I just wish so bad that we had CCTV footage or like social media was around more prominently then, because imagine seeing Ryan Gosling running away from Spencer Pratt. Like, the amount of joy to see that video would be just hilarious. But another thing about Spencer Pratt is that he's not afraid to say that he was a bit of a douche back in the day. And one of his friends was going out with Mary-Kate Olsen. And Spencer, always a bit of an entrepreneur, always looking to make some cash. He used to take photos of his friend and Mary-Kate Olsen, like on dates or hanging out or PDAing or whatever. And then he would sell them to magazines and make money off his friend. Like, it's such a douchebag move, but it's also just like so on brand. But the fact that he admits it, like, you actually have to have respect for that he's like, yeah, I did do that. It wasn't my like best moment of all time. But he would sell photos of them and make cash and then be like, what? Who is selling these photos? And I don't know if his friend ever found out, but they're about to find out in the book, which is pretty amazing. One of the other stories was about Nicole Richie and how Spencer got really drunk and started hallucinating or something, and he thought that he was going to die, and Nicole Richie looked after him while he was really wasted. That would, like, I get bad enough hangover anxiety as it is, but can you imagine waking up the next day and being like, oh my God, Nicole Richie nursed me while I was really wasted. That's just the worst. The worst. I would just be so humiliated. Oh! Now, over summer, if you have not been getting amongst heated rivalry, what is wrong with you? Now, I know, and I will admit this to you, I said the first episode felt a little slow. And I said that in the pop culture wrap at the end of 2025. And I would like to publicly apologize and say I was very wrong. Because then I went back and watched the whole series again. And it is quite honestly part of my personality now. I love that show so much. I love the representation. I love the stigma that it's breaking down. The fact that ice hockey players have now come out after seeing that show. And just, it's so hot and so sexy. And I was talking to friends about it. We're like, why as women do we find this show so hot? And I think it's because you're not just seeing a woman being like absolutely railed or something. It's like there's romance in it. It's masculine, but it's also tender. It's like the whole growth of it. Like, it's weird when I think about it, like my favorite part being like little funny moments, like when they finally go to the cottage and, spoiler alert, and they're in the water and Ilya is just like, give me a kiss. Or when he's like playing with some kids in the pool and then he was like, Highlander, can you give me some money so I can pay these kids? It's just, those little moments were my favorite. Whereas I thought when I initially watched it, I thought it would be all the very racy sex stuff, which I also very much loved. But if you have not watched that show yet, it's easy watch. It's 5 episodes. It's 5.5 hours of binging, and it's on Neon in New Zealand, and it's such a great show. But the stardom that has come from it is wild. The fact that at the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice, all of that, all of the celebrities just want to meet these two guys especially, or any of the cast of Heated Rivalry. There was a moment where Ao from The Bear, she was talking to Connor Story, who plays Ilya on the show, and then one of the characters from Nobody Wants Us comes in. She's like, I'm so sorry, Ao, I love you, I love The Bear, but I just really need to get a photo with Connor Story. I need to meet him and tell him how much I love the show. And she's like, oh yeah. And all of the celebrities behind the scenes were fangirling over the Heated Rivalry cast, and they weren't even nominated for anything. They had a show out for 2 months, and they are the biggest stars at that show. It was incredible. But there has been a lot of drama that has come after it. So Francois, who plays Scott Hunter, who is my favorite on the show, oh my God, the amount of times that I could watch him running in his like ice hockey skins, immaculate. But Scott Hunter, Francois in real life, he has been rumoured to be dating Connor Story, who plays Ilya. And it's interesting because I can see it. Like, I've seen a video when they're walking down the street and he's like rubbing Connor's back, but they could just be friends. But then they were seen going on holiday together, so people were like, ooh. But he started getting so much crap about this. He was getting death threats. He had people like coming up to him in the street, all that sort of stuff that he was like, whoa, calm down. This is just a show. Like, it's not real. But people only want the characters that Connor and Hudson play to be in a relationship in real life. They cannot separate the reality from the characters. And so Scott Hunter, Francois, he then went and unfollowed a bunch of people on Instagram. And it just happens that he unfollowed all of the cast from Heated Rivalry. And then that became this huge headline. So he then had to do an interview and he cleared the air about it. He goes, look, honestly, I was getting death threats. I was just getting yuck stuff. And I just wanted to like remove myself from any narrative that people could put me into. So he has refollowed them on Instagram. But what he was trying to do was unfollow everybody on Instagram, but he didn't realize that there is a limit of how many people you can unfollow at a time. So he'd gone through and unfollowed a bunch of people and then obviously got locked out from unfollowing anybody, and it just happened that people noticed the cast had been unfollowed. Because if you go into your Instagram thing, the people that you followed the most recently, they're going to be at the top of the people that you follow. So it makes sense that they were the ones that were getting unfollowed first. But it's just like such a strange thing. And I still don't quite understand how people pick up on this so quickly. How do fandoms know the moment that someone unfollows somebody? It's just bananas. Like, I do not get it at all. Like, is there an alert? Is there like some sort of bot that's set up so that it goes, bow, they no longer follow each other, bow. I don't get it. I know you can do it for yourself. Like, you can put in and be like, who has unfollowed me? But I didn't know that you could do it for other people. That's just so, that's when you need to take a step back. When your life becomes noticing straight away who has followed and unfollowed someone on Instagram, that is when you need to start looking at hobbies. Like, I don't know, Google cross-stitch or pickleball or anything. But if that's what you're up to, even as someone that is obsessed with pop culture, that's when it's gone too far. That's when the obsession has gone too far and you need to go touch some grass somewhere. Like, get outside, people, because you're taking it too far. To finish things off, I am making a prediction. There has been some very quiet rumors that Sabrina Carpenter is dating Djo from Stranger Things. Now, there was a festival that they were both playing at, and Djo got arrested at Sabrina Carpenter's show. And they've quietly popped up at different things and seen each other. But they've never been photographed as a couple. She does like her actors as well. But I was reading an article this morning about the SNL after party, and the entire cast of Stranger Things are there. Rihanna and A$AP Rocky are there. Sabrina Carpenter, who has absolutely nothing to do with this episode, has turned up about 15 minutes after Djo's turned up. So I'm just going to put it out there right now. Sabrina Carpenter, Djo from Stranger Things, they are a couple, and they are going to go public in the next couple of months, and I'm putting it out there, and I ship it. I did really think that her and Barry were like endgame, but I am into this couple, and I really hope that he treats Sabrina Carpenter like the goddamn queen that she is. Yes! That is it for our pop culture wrap for the day. Thank you so much for tuning into the episode. I really do appreciate it. And don't forget to come follow us on Instagram, a We're on TikTok as well, but we have a private behind the scenes group on Instagram. So come and join it if you want some extra behind the scenes stuff. But also, like, follow, and subscribe. Tell your friends, all of that jazz. And I'll catch you back on Thursday, where we're going to be breaking down award season, diet culture, and Ozempic with Abby's Kitchen, aka Abby Sharp. It is going to be fascinating, and if you've always wanted to know like more about Ozempic and what it's actually doing to society and diet culture and stuff like that, this is the episode for you. I'll catch you on Thursday. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye!